I'm going to go over all of the items that came with the 23Zero awning. This is a 270-degree awning, and I'll be mounting it on the driver's side of my Jeep Gladiator. And the awning will cover the driver's side and the back of the Jeep. Now, the awning also came with a bunch of parts and things and hardware for it. Inside here, first of all, there are, as I understand from watching videos, there are 2 poles that are permanently attached to the awning that you can swing down, and I'll show you those later. Also, a nice little pouch, and there are 3 other poles that you set up on the awning. Also, 9 guy ropes and 9 tent stakes or pegs, and they all fit in this neat little bag here. And that bag, as well as these poles, are supposed to be able to fit in here, which is what I want to do because I want to have everything in one place and always have it ready to go. They also send you some awning mounts, really heavy duty. I won't be using these, but I get why they're sending them to you because various things to mount it to. What I did was I purchased my custom built bed rack from Nut House Industries, and I also purchased the awning mounts from them that go particularly with their bed rack. So I won't be needing the mounts that come with the 23Zero. Now, here's an example of the guy ropes and the poles that fit nicely in this pouch. And one other thing I wanted to mention is some straps. There's 2 straps of one type here and 2 other straps of another type with these little latch type things on here. So one of these with one of these and the other one with the other one. These straps are used once while deploying the awning. As I swing it around the back, they help keep it taut by attaching it to the Jeep. And then there's one on the back, and then there'll be one on the front. So that's what those are for. Now I'm going to go over the hardware that came with the 23Zero awning. Here's the hardware that came with it, and there's quite the array of hardware. And the reason for that is because there's so many different types of racks to attach it to. So they're giving you a whole bunch of hardware that fit every situation they can conceive of. So the other thing is they give you no instructions on how to install it. And I've decided that, well, obviously I'm not going to be using the mounts that they provided. And the reason for that is that when I purchased the bed rack from Nut House Industries, I also purchased their awning mounts. These are custom to go with their type of awning. So I've got really good awning mounts, and I don't need to use the ones that came with 23Zero. So back to the hardware here, what I've determined is I'm going to use, obviously, these bolts. I have to use those. And I'm obviously going to use the washers. But the question I had was, do I use these lock nuts, or do I use these lock washers, or both? What do I do? So I called up Ryan at Nut House Industries and got some advice from him. He mentioned that the lock nuts will sometimes be difficult to get off, will oftentimes be difficult to get off, and they may lock up and you may break them trying to get them off. So if I plan on leaving the awning on permanently, this will be a way to go, but I don't plan on doing that in the wintertime or other times I may be taking it off. I'm gonna leave it on during the camping season, but I do need to take it on and off. So this didn't seem like a good idea to me. So what I'm gonna do is go with the bolts, the lock washers, the washer, and the regular washer, or the regular nut, I'm sorry. And what I did was I ended up having to cannibalize 2 of these U-bolts, and this works perfectly on here. So I'm good to go, and should work out good. This should be fairly simple. I've got the awning placed on the bed of my truck, and I'm simply going to loosen up the Velcro here, and you can kind of come in here and show this, but there are these rubber tabs here that are keeping the back of the this groove enclosed so things don't fall out, because I'm going to put the bolts in there. There goes that. And you simply slide the bolt in here, and slide the other bolt in, and then return these stoppers back in. Seal it back up, and do the same on the other side. Okay, we're going to install the awning now. Let me get mine in first gear. Hold it here. Have it both in? All right, you got the middle. Top on. I'm not going to tighten these all the way in case we have to move it laterally. Find the right spot. Okay. Washer, a lock washer, and the nut. Okay, this is good. Okay, good. It's on temporarily. We'll see if this is the right place for it. The awning is on, but it's not tightened down. And what I want to do now is open the awning and deploy it, because I want to see whether I need to move the awning to the back or the front, because this is the hinge where it'll swing out and cover the back of the Gladiator. So I'm going to open this up for the first time. See what's inside. We've got some cardboard protecting. Some more cardboard. Oh, one piece of advice somebody gave me was these zippers. They clank next to each other when you're going down the road, or you can hear them sometimes. So either keep them to the back or get something on them to keep them from clanking. I'll have to see if that is in fact what happens. These are Velcro. It's supposed to be real easy to deploy. Looks great. Well, that looks nice. I don't have the straps out yet to permanently keep that over there. There's an awning over here that goes to the front. There you go. So there's an awning that comes out on this side. It allows to cover quite a big area. So I like this. It's really nice. Now I want to look at the back and see how this covers back here. Yeah. Ideally, I think I do need to move the awning forward a little bit, but come over here if you would. Up here, I only have a few inches to move it, otherwise we run into this back piece right here, so I can only move it a few inches. But it's my understanding there's some kind of a thing that slides in here that'll cover this portion. Of course, I plan on having a rooftop tent up here as well, but I do want to move it forward just a little bit. Now I'm going to show you how to deploy the 23Zero Peregrine 270-degree awning. Also going to go over some of the things I like about it, because I really like this awning, and some of the things that I think they could improve on. We just got this awning, so it's a brand spanking new, and really haven't had a lot of experience with opening and closing it, so this is really a preliminary review, but I did want to show you it opening and putting it away. So the first thing you do is, you've got these pretty sturdy zippers. Pop these up and you fold the top back. They provide a strap for the back, and I'll show you that later. I just set it aside. Here's the bag with the pegs and the guy line, and it looks like I'm going to need to close this because they look like they started falling out. There are 2 built-in poles on the awning, and they give you 3 additional poles in this carrying case to put them on. And here is the front strap. I'm just going to set those there for now. Next thing you do is you unvelcro these straps. Let this come out. Swing this open. And here's the trick. I don't know if you want to go over here. You have to remember when you put it back that these other 2 go underneath this. There you go. What I'm going to do is attach the back strap next. So if you want to come over here. They've got a place to hook this. You simply walk it around back here. And then you got to find a place to hook it. And what I've done is, for now, this seemed to be the best place to put it. If you look down this line right here, I don't really think this is a 270-degree awning. It might be 255-degree or 260-degree awning. Because as you can see, I've got this thing pretty tight here, and I really can't move it much more. I'm worried about that joint and where this is connected. So I've got a little gap here at the back, and I got to try to work around finding out if there's something wrong with it or this is normally how it goes, but I really can't pull it too much farther this way. There we go. But as you can see, it's still not 90 degrees. Now I'm going to go put the front up. Next, I'm going to attach this hook and extend the front part of the awning. And I found a spot over here that seems to work well. There we go. Okay. And as you can see down this line right here, the awning does not extend parallel to the side of the Jeep. It's 5 degrees or so off. So that's why it's not 270-degree awning. And if you look at the awning, it is pulled taut. There's a little sag here.
suppose I could push this and tighten this up and move it a little bit, but it still isn't going to be 180 degrees. Next thing you do is deploy the poles. And it's pretty simple. You twist it, lift up, twist it again, and it stays. There are 2 poles that are already set in here. And here's the other pole. So it's really easy. Really like this feature. And then they do recommend you always use all of the poles. I think that's a really good idea. This top right here goes in a hole, and again you just twist it and lock it in place. And here's another pole, same thing, there's a nice hole up here, put it in, twist it in place, you're done. And one more pole in the back over here. And you're done for the most part. If it's just sun you're trying to get out of, this is good if you've got some wind. They do recommend that you use the guy lines and hook them in. I recall there are 9 guy lines and there are 5 poles. So you're wondering, why are there 4 extra? Well, the 4 extra are in case it's raining out. You can hook them up to here and it pulls it down a little bit and it causes the rain to drain off. They also sell walls, and here's one of the things I'd like. They're solid. There's no way to zip them and put a door in. They don't have a screen, and they don't have where you can open up unzip it and have like a clear plastic so you can see out in case you don't want wind or rain driving in, but be able to see. So you feel kind of enclosed in there, but and they have zippers up here that you attach the walls to, and they look really cool, but hopefully they're working on something where they have some screens on them. The downside is, of course, the screens are on the outside, so if you're in a buggy area like we are right now, and you're in an screened in area, you've got nothing to keep them from coming in at you from here and underneath. So maybe they'll work on that too. I don't know how they connect that. Do want to point out the joint here. This is made of aluminum and the joint is metal, it's aluminum. So this is a really strong joint. There are some on the market, they have plastic joints, and I've looked at them. They're less expensive, but they also, I hear complaints about them breaking, and the manufacturers will give you parts that you can put in there because they break so often. It's part of their kit. What I like about this is pretty darn solid, and I think the canvas is pretty darn solid. It is a lot more room than we thought once we deployed it. My wife and son and I were looking at it, and we were just so surprised at the amount of space underneath here. So real happy with it. Back to the things that I don't like. I talked about back here, and we'll go in the back in a second and look at that. But before we do that, this piece right here is nice. You find something on the other side of the Jeep and you attach it to it, and it'll keep some of the rain out, or sun if you're trying to look for shade. So that's okay. I don't know how else you would do it, so it works. I do want to point out that the doors open and close without a problem. Don't interfere with the awning whatsoever, so you can get in and get out and get stuff if you like it. The other neat thing about this is they've got it pretty neat where you can take it out and move it to the back of the Jeep. Now at the back of the Jeep, to try to cover up this angle right here, they've made it pretty easy to relocate this flap and put it at the back. The problem with that is that this cord, ideally you'd want to put it out here somewhere. So all the poles are used, so I don't know where you would hook this up to. I could hook it up here. As you can see, this is not ideal. You really want it out here and high. The other thing is, let's say this thing is deployed properly. There's still a gap here. Again, maybe I need to pull this tighter that way so it is a 270-degree awning, but I'm afraid I'm gonna stress out the joint too much. So I'm not gonna do that. So, decent idea, but there's no way this is gonna cover. I don't know. Then maybe this needs to be wider, or I need to put more pressure on this joint. That would be my own. You know, I plan on being back here. I'm going to open up the tailgate. This is where we'll get lunch. We'll cook on the tailgate. So if it's raining out and I'm standing here, I'm going to get wet. So somehow they gotta come up with a better idea than that, or else I'm just doing something wrong. Otherwise, I love it. It's great. It looks strong. It looks sturdy. It's easy to deploy, and looking forward to using it. Now we're going to put the awning away and just reverse the steps that we did before. First thing we're going to do is take off the poles that are not permanent, and stow them in the bag. And there are 3 poles that are not permanently attached. And this is the last one. And next, the permanent poles, we'll fold them up. Velcro in here very nicely and stay up. And there are 2 of these. So this is really simple and easy to deploy and take down. Next, I'm going to take off what I call the front strap. Simply unhooking it. Then I'm going to go to the back and take off the back strap. And next to the front to fold up the awning. Putting the awning away, you need to do the front first. And these poles, one sits kind of on top of the other. The trick here again is to lift this up and go under. Okay, and then you simply fold these in. You make sure they're down and they're not up and causing problems. And set it up here. You're going to want to make sure these are handy. There's 3 of them, as you may recall. And then you got to roll this up real tight. 1. Two. And as you can see, this is pretty easy for one person to do. Nice and tight. Tuck any extraneous strings and cords out of the way. And put everything back the way you got it. These just lay on top. Put the front strap or the front. And then I'm going to put the pegs and the guy line up here. When we opened it, I had this facing forward, and as you know, when you stop, things tend to slide that way, more so than when you accelerate. So I'm going to put the hole to the back. And put what I call the back strap up here. Fold the cover over. Cross your fingers, we got enough room to zipper it up. Doesn't hurt to push it up a little. There, and it's done. And there you have it. This is a really neat awning. I'm really glad I got it. I really enjoy it. Can't wait to test it in the field with rain and sun and wind. But I'm real happy with it. Driving down the road, 70 miles an hour, didn't even notice it, didn't hear it, didn't feel it. So it was good there. But it's pretty simple. One person can deploy it, one person can put it away, and real happy with it. Still got to try to figure out how I can get the back to be covered because I don't think it's 270 degrees, and there's some things that they need to do. I think they need to get a better wall system, and that's about it. So thank you for watching. I hope this was helpful. So overall, I give this awning so far 2 thumbs up.